When the sun goes down, that's right. It's time for Sports Hour!
The quarterback that beat the Kansas City. Oh, no, it's actually Sarah.
The flip was switched and the lights came on.
The lights were on.
Hey, Sarah, go long!
Oh, wait, Trevor. I play football. Go first!
Guys, I just want to talk about golf this year. That's all I want.
Guys, I just want the Sabres to be good this year. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Sports Hour. I'm your host, Trevor Hauer, and look at you on the intro.
Look at that. I bet you weren't expecting it.
We got our hockey guy, Brent, here. Guess what, dude? The Sabres season has already started.
Sabre Seas has started.
First two home games were already played. They're 1-1. I honestly think they should be 2-0.
You were at the home opener.
I was at the home opener.
How was it? I got to hear about it.
Absolute great game. JJ Peterka scoring his first NHL goal was absolutely electric.
That was fire.
And watching Rasmus Dahlin get a sick feed in front of the net was amazing too. And then obviously you can't forget about the two empty net goals scored by Victor Olofsson himself. And the new goal songs, have you heard any of them?
Yeah.
Or seen what they are?
I saw the list, but then as the game was going on, I was like, oh, wait, if he scores, what was his song? And I forgot it, but like as soon as Peterka scored, I'm like, oh, yeah, now I remember these songs that the players picked. But yeah, no, they're great. Jeff Skinner, I wish he would have scored. Did he score Saturday?
I don't think he did. I know Alex Tuck did.
His song is
I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston. Yeah.
I need to hear that.
I mean, a great song. And then Alex Tuck had I don't remember what it was, but it was so good too.
I think someone else had like a Miley Cyrus song, like Party in the USA or something, maybe.
Yes, probably something like that.
Goal songs are great though. For some reason, OP's wasn't listed, which was weird, but
no, but Victor Olofsson had "Gimme Gimme Gimme" by ABBA, so that's a great song. And we heard it twice because he scored back-to-back empty net goals, kind of like Ukraine when I pull Millsy out of 2K7, but
and then the announcer is just like, ugh! And then there's just way too much going on.
There's a lot going on. But yeah, Sabres did beat the Senators 4-1 in their home opener. They ended up falling to the Florida Panthers 4-3. Can we talk about how dirty this Panthers team is now?
Dude, it's
Gudas
bad.
And Tkachuk. I knew as soon as Tkachuk got traded there, I was like, he's going to be a thorn in our side. He's going to be dirty. He's going to be the next Marchand.
I mean, if you think about it, when we played Florida last year too, they're I don't know. Since they've gotten these new players, they've been kind of playing like a little bit more scummy. And then, like, obviously in playoffs, each team's going hard, so I'm not going to count playoffs. But, like, towards the end of regular season last year, like, you could really tell when they got Sammy and Giroux and, they still had their core veteran guys, like, they played chippy. And, like, especially against us, like, they know they're coming into our barn. We got a younger team. So, I was expecting them to play like that, but, I mean, keeping it to a one-goal game, in my opinion, was honestly pretty impressive for us.
It was.
For second game in, playing Florida, like, that's pretty good.
And I thought starting Eric Comrie that day against the Florida Panthers was a little bit unfair.
And I messed up because I got him on fantasy, and I didn't play him. But it's okay, because we didn't win.
Yeah, 217th overall, and he didn't even see any ice time. Maybe that's a good thing because he gave up 4 goals.
Yeah.
But Sabres were down 4-2 in this game. They made it 4-3. They just couldn't get that tying goal. They had a lot of chances to do that. Obviously, they probably just got underway facing against the Edmonton Oilers right now. Mm-hmm. We all know how the Sabres usually play on the Western road trip, and it's not always
usually
great.
Not good,
but,
to be honest.
Hopefully things change this year, and there's sort of a revolution in the arena.
And then was it next game after Edmonton?
Yeah, Calgary.
Calgary, and then we go to Vancouver.
We go to Vancouver to face against Ukraine. Just kidding. The Canucks.
With
at
the
General
Stripies.
Motors Place with the Stripies and the Robos and the Toy Bots.
And all the people in the crowd pulling up Dreamweaver to try and figure out what is going on.
And it's gonna be a weird season for the Sabres, I think, because we don't really know what they are yet. I don't even think they know what their true identity is. 1-1. But they scored 7 goals in the last 2 games, which is good. I really hope that they sort of change everything around on this Western road trip because we all know how how they don't win there.
Yeah,
anywhere.
no, we never
They
can.
might win one game on the West Coast,
Seattle.
but they really need to figure that out.
We should beat Seattle. We should beat Vancouver. Honestly, we should beat Edmonton. I'm saying we should, but every time I say this, we always lose. So, I mean, Edmonton is just like, it's McDavid and Draisaitl. Lock them down and get shots on net. Their goalie's trash.
Yeah.
Mike Smith, he's garbage.
I don't even know if he's starting. I have no idea if he's even starting tonight. I know that Eric Comrie's starting for the Sabres
Even
tonight.
better.
And
Comrie's starting? Good.
Comrie is getting the
I
start
put
tonight.
you in, Comrie.
So that's
get
good.
Me points.
Maybe you can hold Connor McDavid to only a hat trick instead of like 4 goals or 5 goals or something like that, because we all know how good that guy is on the ice.
His points are already racking up, bro. Like,
No,
how?
he's one of the best players since Wayne Gretzky. He's probably got to be top 3.
Well, it has to be. Like,
Gretzky.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's gonna go like Gretzky, and then probably McDavid, and then
like
Ovechkin,
Delpost.
and then Crosby, and then Delpost, and then Crosby,
Yeah, no,
and then
Crosby.
Somchak is down here.
Now,
Because-
Somchak above Crosby.
No, nobody's worse than Somchak.
Oh,
let's
you're
just
right,
be
you're
real.
right, you're right,
Let's
yeah.
be real. But yeah, the Sabres start at 9 o'clock. Then they play the Calgary Flames. Like games that they should be winning.
Flames are. I don't see us winning. To be
I mean,
honest.
if we don't come out of this
Kadri,
road trip without at
Gaudreau.
least 2 wins, that's just kind
That's
of.
what I'm saying. We should at least get 2. I'm saying Seattle and Vancouver should be a lock.
It should be
Seattle should 100,000% be a lock.
for sure.
Edmonton's iffy. Calgary will probably lose, and Vancouver, I feel like we could beat Vancouver.
Yeah, should be able to beat Vancouver. At least we're not going to like LA where we never win, or San
Yeah.
Jose where we also never win, or Anaheim which we never win.
Yeah.
So at least we're in Vancouver, and at least
People are probably like, so like when do they win? Sometimes at home. You know?
sometimes. And how about this? Ottawa Senators beating the Boston Bruins right now 6-4 last time I checked.
6-5.
6-5 now.
11 goals before the third period even starts.
We only gave up 1 goal against Ottawa. With our 41-year-old
One-year-old goalie.
Craig Anderson in net. That's
By the way,
kind of
Trev,
embarrassing
our
to think
our
about Boston.
predictions for that game were way off.
I said 5-0. They won 4-1.
I said 4-0.
I had the same amount of total goals on the Vegas line.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at least you got something right.
Yeah, 5 combined goals, 5-0.
Same
Thing. You
yeah.
said like 9-0.
No, I said 4, but then I combined it with your 5, and,
Oh.
and then I realized like, yeah, we're just gonna win 9-10-0.
Yeah, then I probably threw out like a 21-0.
You know why we didn't win? It's because Malcolm Subban didn't sing the anthem.
Or why we didn't completely blow them out was because Malcolm Subban
that.
or Dougie Allen. We're still wondering when
Yeah,
he's going to
where's
come back.
Dougie? Where's Dougie? I need
But,
Dougie back.
It is really, I mean, going back on that Bruins and Senators game, it is kind of embarrassing if you're thinking about the Bruins right now because we only gave up 1 goal against the Sens with a 41-year-old goalie. Boston gave up 6 goals.
In the first 40 minutes.
First 40 minutes of the game. So we don't
That's-
really know Boston's true colors yet. Again, it's like, what, second, third game in the season?
Yeah,
So we don't really know.
Boston's always that team that's going to be good no matter what. I mean, they got Pasta, Marchand, Bergeron. Their goalie, I thought, was going to be Rask, but they're playing Swayman tonight. So, but I mean, yeah, just seeing that's actually kind of crazy. I wonder because they're in Ottawa, so I'm wondering if maybe they went into the game thinking like, oh, they just lost to the Sabres. They're not like as good as everyone thinks because like now they have Giroux. And he didn't do nothing against us at all. I didn't even
He was
notice
shut
him
down
out
for
there.
the most time. No, I saw him out there. And same with Alex DeBrincat, too. I would have thought he'd be able to score a goal, but it was Kachuk that scored for the Sens. I would have thought DeBrincat would make some noise, and I would have thought Claude Giroux would do some good things, too. I completely forgot he was on the team until I saw him out
Literally
there.
same. I was watching the game, and like I saw him. I think it was in the second period. And like they actually put the camera right on him, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot Giroux was on this team. Like, I remembered it before the game, and I was like, all right, that worries me. And then I just totally forgot until they put the camera on him. I'm like, oh, he hasn't done a single thing anyway. So.
And then J.J. Paterka on the little give-and-go play
That
for
was
his first NHL goal.
Nasty. That was such a good play.
But then, and then the tic-tac-toe in front of the net to Dali. And I think the whole game after the first period was really good. I think the only place where the Sabres really suffer right now is the power play.
Yeah, oh my god, our
Why
power
are we
play
putting
is
Casey Middlestat on the
atrocious.
power play?
It's so I don't even
Why
want to
is
talk about
Casey
our power
Middlestat
play.
on the power play?
Our power play is just so bad. I don't even think we've scored yet.
Do you know how many times I call him Neymar because he's always falling down? Do you know how many times Casey Middlestat was literally falling down on the ice? I probably counted above like 20 times that he fell down. And how many times he created a shorthanded breakaway for the Senators? That's if I had one bone to pick with Don Granato, it's
what
is your love affair over Casey Middlestat?
Yeah,
dude?
actually, like Don, I love you. You're a great coach, but Casey on a power play, that is not it.
Casey Middlestat on the team still.
Yeah,
I've
that
given
also might not be
5,000
it,
chances
honestly.
on Casey Middlestat, and he's still
just-
proven nothing.
It's weird because like you watch him and he's like he like can pick up the pace. And then you're like, all right, he's doing a Middlestat thing. He'll pull up like a great move.
And then he trips on the
and then
friggin'
he'll
blue
just,
line.
Yeah, he'll just do something stupid like that. And you're like, all right, yeah, why is he even in the NHL?
Like, Casey, that blue line you just tripped on is painted on. I don't know how you're tripping over it.
The ice is slippery.
The ice is a little bit slippery. Casey, you should know that. Oh, wait, no, he can't do a pull-up. So, his strength and awareness is kind of not there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, besides that, power play needs a lot of
Jack
work.
Quinn didn't scratch tonight, though. That was a healthy scratch
even know
move
that.
by Donnie tonight, so we're going to see if what happens there.
Wonder why.
But going over some live scores right now, Vegas and Calgary 0-0. They just started. Sabres and Edmonton just started 0-0. San Jose and the Islanders 2-2. Philly and Tampa 2-2. Vancouver, Columbus. The Vancouver Canucks are winning.
Against the Blue
no,
Jackets.
they're not even at home, so it doesn't matter. 3-2. I was going to make a joke there. And the Ottawa Senators are up 6-5 on Boston. And I believe the New Jersey Devils are beating the Anaheim Ducks right now. And we already have some
3-2.
final scores. We have the Rangers beating the Ducks.
Go figure.
And
Rangers
how about
are
the Yotes
undefeated.
beating the Leafs?
Who did?
Coyotes beating
No
the
way.
Toronto Maple Leafs 4-2.
What?
Did you see? I saw there was a thing that said, or I don't even know
The
who posted it.
Coyotes are coming
But
out of the factory.
The Coyotes since 2002 have at least gotten a point against the Maple Leafs. Like the Maple Leafs have never beat them in regulation since 2002. And the streak
That is
continues.
brutal.
Like Toronto, last thing I want to say about you, you lost to your own Zamboni driver one time. It's been over 20,000 days since you won the Stanley Cup. And you haven't
You
gotten a
haven't beaten the
regulation win
Coyotes.
against the Coyotes?
They're so bad. They're so bad. Like what?
I mean, I just can't even anymore.
That's ridiculous. And
But,
Ovi, on the other hand, is tearing it up too.
No, he is.
He's against Vancouver. Against Vancouver.
Imagine
of
that.
course,
Imagine
of
that.
course. He gets the first goal of the season plus another one, 2 assists. I'm thinking within another year, record's gonna get beaten.
Let's go. Let's do it. So thanks for coming on, Brent. We're gonna have
Always a
Topher come on.
pleasure.
We're gonna have Topher come on and talk some MLB postseason, especially Astros and Yanks. So don't go away.
When you think of the local lowdown, what do you think of?
Well, when I think of the local lowdown, it's the live music that we have played in the studio.
It's got to be the laughs we shared. The memorable moments during the whole thing. Oh my God, so fun.
The local lowdown for me is the people behind the scenes, the amazing team that we have making the show.
Oh, it's gotta be exploring all sorts of genres and music I've never heard before.
Oh, easy. Going out to shows and talking to artists and getting the latest news on what they have planned for the future.
It's about these artists, man. Giving them a platform to showcase what they've worked so hard on and show their music to the community. It's all about supporting the local scene of music to keep it running for years to come. And of course, the band merch. You can't forget about the merch.
Happy to have Topher on, not to talk NHL, but to talk some MLB postseason baseball. We have our whole setup here for the Final Four. There's a live game going on right now in the National League Championship Series, and a final from tonight that set the stage for the ALCS. We got a rematch from 2017, 2019, and the 2015 wild card. Astros and Yankees, game one is tomorrow. Big win for the Yankees tonight over the Guardians after what was supposed to be played last night. Rained out, but hey, they won it tonight and they fly into Houston. I actually probably think they're probably flying into Houston right now.
I would hope so. I would kind of hope so. Like they need some type of break tonight because Manfred kind of just like screwed them a little bit. Like kind of just set them up for failure in at least game one. Like, in theory, like, you gotta have, if you're gonna have any type of optimism, it's like, oh, the Astros have been on break too long. Oh, maybe they get screwed up a little bit. Yankees are in a groove now. They just got a 5-1 win. I don't think, also, yeah, this isn't the first time this screen hasn't worked for us, so it's all good.
Just bear with us, yeah.
It's all good. But no, but yeah, like, it's, obviously I'm a little worried as a Yankees fan going on game 1 of the ALCS with 0 break. Not a great thing, not a great combo to be a part of right away. Doesn't give me a lot of confidence, but, you know, I assume it's going to be Talion on the bump tomorrow for game 1.
It's Talion versus Verlander, so you got
Dear God.
Verlander, who has a 13.5 ERA. He got exposed in game 1 against Seattle, despite the Astros winning that game. And Talion's actually 0-1, but he doesn't have anything under his ERA stat line. How does that make sense?
Yeah, I have no idea. But also, it's like, do you really think Verlander is going to end up, like, screwing up 2 starts in a row, though? Like, dude.
Verlander in the postseason is definitely
weird.
Iffy, very
He's
hit or miss.
very wishy-washy.
And I think the last time they met in the ALCS, the Yankees took game 1 like 7-0.
Yeah, I'm
pretty
so.
sure.
But at the same time, didn't he end up?
That was also Zach Greinke starting for Houston.
Yeah.
But
it was not great.
Verlander started that game 6 in 2019, but we'll see what happens here. I mean, obviously, like, I'm just really shocked that the league didn't push this game till Thursday.
It doesn't make sense.
I mean, the Yankees are going to be flying in to Houston tonight. Then they have to play a game tomorrow.
Exactly.
Get to the clubhouse in the morning, probably.
Yeah.
And then play a game that night. Like, you didn't give them any time to rest. And if the Astros win, that's all you're going to hear. Well, the Yankees just weren't rested. You know, they were like I would just get rid of all of that, move the game to Thursday.
Yeah. I think you just get rid of any type of real, I think you just need to get rid of scheduling. Like, not like for the championship series at least, I think you really need to try your best to, like, not just preset it, because stuff like this is gonna happen.
100%.
Two divisional games for the Yankees Guardians got rained out and needed to get pushed back. Like, you have to have, like, plan for days for this stuff. Like, baseball has an issue, like, and this is kind of it. Because in theory, no championship game team should have to go and play without any rest. Like,
exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
Because it's already a marathon for 162 of those games. Plus, you're playing a best 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Then you're playing 2 best of 7s if you get there.
Yep.
So I think when they say it's a marathon, not a sprint, the postseason is when you start to run really fast. That's when it starts to turn into a sprint.
And, like, you need any rest day you can get at that point.
Yep,
which
100%.
Is like, it's ridiculous because, like, even if the Guardians, like, no matter what it was, like, obviously I'm a Yankees fan, I'm biased in this situation. Even if the Guardians won the series, they were also screwed. Like, no matter what team you were rooting for, unless you're an Astros fan, you think the other AL team got screwed. Like, and even most Astros fans
will
can
say,
agree. They're like,
listen, they're gonna be half asleep out there.
Yeah, like, it's not like it's bad for the sake of, like, if the Astros lose game 1, it's
bad for them.
It's bad for Verlander, and it's bad for Astros fans at that
100%.
point. Like, you have no excuse.
Now, if this was taking place in New York, I'd be like, okay,
sure.
Yeah,
that's totally.
Astros are on 3 days rest. They fly into the Bronx. That's
I
fine.
think it's one of those. Yeah, I agree, because then the Yankees don't travel, but they're traveling to Houston.
Yeah.
Which is a flight, dude. Like,
it is.
It's like a 7-hour flight at minimum, and obviously, like, professional athletes don't stop, so, like, that's different. It's still a haul.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
and the fact that they're going to fly in super late. Well, they literally just got done with their game 2 hours ago.
Yeah, like, they're probably on the flight now.
Yeah, or they just took off or something.
Yeah, like, they are not close to getting there yet. Like, they're gonna get in at, like, around midnight. And what is first pitch tomorrow?
Game time tomorrow night is, I think, 7:05.
Jeez, dude, it's ridiculous.
It is crazy. But you want to know what else is crazy? Upsets from the NLDS.
I love the NL made me happy.
How about the Phillies? First of all, they hit 3-run homers to use their way to victory. I mean,
seriously,
every game they're hitting a 3-run bomb, and it's always Rhys Hoskins. This guy is clutch at 3-run bombs. They took down the Atlanta Braves, the current champs. So we're automatically going to have a new champion this year. 3-1, the series was won. Also, being the anti-Dodger Stan account I am, the Slam Diego Padres took down.
What was up with that? The NL is on something, and I love it.
They took them down in 4 games.
Seriously.
The Dodgers were up 3-0 late in that game. and they blew it and lost 5-3. They lost the series to the Padres.
Bro.
A team that won the season series against San Diego 15-4.
Yeah, like,
15-4.
Killed them. A
And
team
then,
with
then they lost 4 out of 5.
111 wins on a season. A top 10 season in terms of like pure record. Obviously, like how they actually stood as a team.
Franchise history broke the record.
Like at one of the greatest Dodger teams in history statistically.
100%.
And they didn't even make the championship series.
It's the pressure of being the first seed.
Bro, it's a choke. It's just the greatest. It's one of the top tier chokes in Dodgers history, and they're kind of known for it.
Yeah.
Like
at this point,
it's
choking games against the
bad.
Cubs, losing the World Series to Houston.
Braves last year.
Braves last year for sure.
Like
and then
what year did they win? Was it 2020?
They won in
Did
2020.
Yeah, they won the short season.
They won the 60 game.
So like at that point, are you going to use that as like, no, we won recently. You didn't win a real season.
Right.
Like obviously as a Dodgers fan, you're
Since 88. Since 1988.
Like exactly. Like that basically was their like removing their curse here, and it wasn't because it wasn't a full season. So like as a Dodgers Dodgers fans, I don't know what's happening with you guys. Like I'm sorry.
No, it seems like we're kind of overcoming that era of spending your way to a championship because all it is like you have to get hot to win.
Unless the Yankees do it, and then it's like,
unless
well,
the Yankees do it, then it's like,
if
okay.
the Yankees do it, then you're kind of just back at square one. Like, yeah, you know, bigger teams are gonna do it.
I mean, 2009 they kind of experimented with that.
They weren't even like.
But they had. I'm just trying to think. I mean, they had A-Rod. They had Jeter.
Yeah, but like 2000. No, so like if it was more 20. Hey, look at that. Good job, guys.
Good job, guys.
No, if it was.
The lights are on.
Jeez. No, if it was that 2010 Yankees team that won it all, that would be. That was the one they got Granderson and like they invested. 20 like if you're gonna talk about spending guys. Like, yeah, they got Hideki. Like, they dropped Bank for Hideki, but he was there for a few years.
Nick Swisher was there.
Nick Swisher was there, but they didn't drop, like, that team. Like, that is my Yankees team. Like, I grew up with that Yankees team. So, that team, like, looking back at it when I now understand, like, finances for, like, professional baseball, because
luxury
back
tax,
then, yeah, like, I
I
didn't know. I'm like, oh, yeah, yo, give A-Rod all the money. No, it was just, like, crazy. Like, that team, literally, the only people who were, like, getting paid on that team were guys who were there a while.
Right.
Like A-Rod was there for a bit. Mariano was getting paid, but he was literally the GOAT. Jeter wasn't even getting paid that much for what he could have been making because he was insane. A-Rod was easily the most, like Teixeira. Teixeira was getting paid. That's another guy. A-Rod and Teixeira were definitely the two guys getting paid the most.
No question.
Like, I could not name another dude on that roster that's like, yeah, Hideki probably got a decent chunk because he came over.
Right. But the Dodgers, though.
The Dodgers just paid everyone.
I mean,
it's
Mookie Betts,
ridiculous.
blank check.
That's exactly
Justin Turner, blank check. I mean, it just doesn't work.
Clayton just gets blank checks for his
Trey
extensions.
Turner, blank check.
Yeah, like that is totally different.
It is different. But when you talk about the Astros, though, and staying on that topic of Astros-Yankees, that Game 3, not only was it a snooze fest, but it was one of the most outstanding pitching duos I've ever seen. It originally started with Lance McCullers Jr., and I think it may have been Matt Brash, I think started for the Mariners that night. It went to 18 innings.
It was good. It was really good.
And the only run that was scored was at the top of the 18th with a solo homer by Carlos Correa's replacement, Jeremy Pena.
Yeah, shout out to Jeremy Pena.
Shout out to JP3 for that clutch hit.
He's been in the league for a while. He deserves it.
Yeah, a 6.5-hour showdown.
So
all to be ended by a 23-year-old rookie shortstop.
That's the boy.
And our boy JP3. Great stuff. And Seattle put on a fight defensively, I think, in this series.
No, they're a good team.
They were shutting Houston down in Game 1. They were up 7-2 at one, or what was it, 7-3 at one point. Obviously, Jordan hit the 3-run homer to walk it off. Game 2, they had it in Houston. They won that one 4-2. And you can make the argument Seattle was outplaying him for most of those innings.
Yeah.
Houston just got the bats going at the right time.
Basically, Houston kind of went back to we're just going to hit dingers and get just runs and chunks versus basically they did the opposite of what the Guardians were doing to keep that series with the Yankees close.
When they were trying to hit for contact, they would get hits, and then they would ground into double plays.
Yeah, it was.
So they just decided we're going to swing for the fences.
Yeah, when
it got to the point of the top of the 15th on. Yeah, they're we're going to swing at everything.
At that point, you're just kind of giving up in dude, we can't get RBIs. We just need home runs.
Yep.
Which is an approach. It's going to be an interesting approach when it's the Yankees and the Astros, who are not great contact teams.
We'll see which way the ball bounces.
That's just going to be ridiculous.
It's going to be insane. So hopefully by the time next week, this will be, what are we, Game 5, Game 6, or 7, right around there?
Yeah.
Like I projected where it was supposed to go.
Yeah.
I couldn't give you a prediction because I'm awful at this. You can look back at the
both
Sports
really-
Hours
we're so
episodes
bad.
last year when I said the Braves are going to be out at the wild card. Obviously that didn't happen. But thanks for coming on, Topher. In approximately 1 minute, we're going to talk some NBA tip-off. It's opening night for the NBA with Ethan when we return.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Oh, keep on.
Happy to have Ethan join us to talk some NBA basketball. Hey, man, it's opening night, so obviously he's going to celebrate a little bit.
The long wait is over, gentlemen. It is opening night of the NBA. Tip-off is tonight. Currently, the Sixers and the Celtics are doing battle. James Harden having a good night here, looking like prime Rockets Harden. I want to go that far, of course, but he's looking good.
Similar to that. For
Similar.
Sure.
He's looking less washed up than he did last season in the playoffs, so you gotta have good signs there.
Currently, the live score right now, 2.5 to go in the third, it is 90-80 in favor of Boston. You can tell that they still have that sour taste in their mouth. The fact that they get so close every year since 2008, they get so close, but they come up just short. A big win over the Sixers tonight would be huge to start off their season and go 1-0. But you had some news about some contracts that were signed just before you came on the air, right? Maybe a little overpaid contracts, some will say.
I'm not gonna throw around the words money laundering, but there is a lot of money going around that I'm not sure where it's coming from. Jordan Poole just inked a 4-year, $140 million extension with the Warriors.
Where does that money come from?
And I thought the same thing, but they must have some, cap thing. And then I realized
how much
the salary cap doesn't exist because Andrew Wiggins also inked a 4-year, $109 million extension. So they have that going for them, which I just think is a little crazy. As I don't know. I don't know I don't know the guaranteed breakdown. I don't know what's going against the cap, what's going against the luxury tax, but I do know they can't have Steph Curry under that massive contract, Klay Thompson under that massive contract, Andrew Wiggins under that massive contract, Jordan Poole under that massive contract, and still have Draymond Green.
100%.
So Draymond Green, after Mike Tyson and his teammate in the face during practice, will probably not be a Warrior for much longer. He's probably going to go join his dad, LeBron, over in LA.
Can we talk about that a little bit? I don't even know why this is occurring in Golden State.
I couldn't imagine.
A team that just came off their championship run, and you're doing that before the preseason? It was before the preseason.
It was before games had even begun.
Yeah.
It was a meaningless scrimmage, probably tail end of practice.
With his teammates that he's been with forever.
Yeah,
basically.
Jordan Poole's been there for 3 years already. So it's not like this is a new guy coming in trying to test Draymond Green's
trying to take
mettle.
his spot, potentially.
I don't know. Maybe he's a double agent trying to force his way out of Golden State.
That would be a pretty genius, but at the same time stupid way to get out, fighting your own teammate.
I don't get it. And then I think the craziest part of that all is they're just like, Draymond said he's sorry. That's all that there is to it.
That's good.
This was physical assault.
It was physical
Jordan
assault.
Poole got cracked in the. Did you see the video?
Yeah.
He got haymakered.
He was in a scrimmage that had nothing to do with anything regarding
I thought
the
I was
regular
watching
season.
a Creed movie. I thought I was seeing that Michael B. Jordan flick, a little bit of Rocky in him. It was just crazy to see him.
You went to a fight and a basketball game broke out. It was that violent. Pretty much.
I thought maybe.
I mean, just looking at Draymond Green is notorious for taking low blows, but at the other team, not his own teammates.
Draymond Green's always been that kind of player that you love to have on your team and
But you hate to face against him.
And I guess Jordan Poole that day hated to play against him.
I just want to know what was said. Like, you can always look on and check your sources of what could have been said or what they think was said, but they're never going to tell you what was truly said.
Of course not. I think it's a miracle we got the video in the first place. TMZ obviously paying some money to that Warriors insider. But going back to these contracts, I think the only good value for player ratio this extension window has been the Brandon Clark 4-year, $52 million. You know, nice young player, not probably not even the third option on that team, but still a great solid core on John Morant and gets a nice deal. And then we come down here, we see Kevin Porter Jr. getting a 4-year, $82.5 million extension. I think well deserved.
I honestly think it was. I think he's one of the lone bright spot on that Houston Rockets team. They're going to win 20 games, max.
Again.
I think that they're going to use him as that player to build around in the draft, build around in trades. They might look at him as that franchise player, and they have a lot more money to spend too. So
I don't think this is at all a question about his talent. I think Kevin Porter Jr. on paper, at his age and his ability, is an incredibly exciting prospect. I think the problem with Kevin Porter Jr. lies in his work ethic and his ability to be a teammate. There were many games last season where if he got subbed off or if he didn't get enough touches on the ball, he would just stop playing defense or he would sub himself out of the game. I remember...
he'd have his Antonio Brown antics.
Yeah, I remember vividly when he, at halftime, refused to dress for the second half of the game. He just refused to play. And so I think giving this player a 4-year extension, locking yourself into him for at least 4 years, because if it keeps acting the way Kevin Porter Jr. has been acting, no team's going to want him. No one's going to trade for him.
You got to think this is maybe a motivational standpoint too. Hey, we gave you the money.
Maybe
Don't do any of those things anymore.
Maybe he's looked much better in practice. Maybe the work ethic is building.
His attitude has changed. That could happen. A lot can hapen over the course of an offseason.
I think it's going to be very telling to see how he plays this season. I thought this season would be his year to make that prove-it deal. Yeah. I thought this last year. I guess they saw enough in
maybe
preseason,
jumped the gun on it a little too early.
But I do think the value he commands after the season could have been good. So I think it's a good little extension there.
And especially good for him too.
DeAndre Hunter, 4 years, $95 million. A lot of people will scoff at this. I think DeAndre Hunter is a fantastic player.
Underrated.
I think he's better than Kevin Porter Jr. I think, especially now with the Hawks adding DeJounte Murray, he could look even exceptional in this offense. Last season in the postseason, Hawks didn't play that many games. They were in the play-in tournament. He looked phenomenal. Yeah. 21 field goal, 21 points per game. Sorry. 3 assists, I think 4 rebounds a game on a nice 54% shooting clip, which I think is, I think 4 years, $95 million is well worth it for that kind of stat line. So we'll see if he can build on that postseason, see if he can improve upon it even and become a very good third option there over in Atlanta. Atlanta looking good this season.
I think he turns into a better player once the pressure's on. Obviously, Atlanta's really stacking that team a lot in the Eastern Conference. They have a couple of solid teams to face against in that conference. I mean, Chicago took us by surprise last year. Nobody really had them cruising around the top 5 in that conference a lot last year. But it's going to be interesting to see, especially in this Eastern Conference. You can write some teams off like Indiana and other teams like that are going to be rebuilding.
Charlotte, who was just full of convicts.
For sure. But I think we can leave it with this. Live score update, Celtics 97, 76ers 85 with 30 seconds to go in the third. The Warriors host the Lakers in the Battle of California tonight at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. So, Ethan, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And coming up next, we're going to have Sarah to talk some AFC NFL Week 6 content.
We're ready for you.
Pneumococcal. If you're 65 or older, like me, you're at greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia, even if you're healthy.
People 65 plus are over 10 times more likely to land in the hospital for pneumococcal pneumonia than those 18 to 49. And it's important we all do what we can to stay healthy. So, Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination.
Hope. Where are you hiding? I search for you in the seconds, the minutes of each and every day. Hear me as I call out to you. Take my hand. Lift me up as I lift up others. Welcome me home, Father, Mother, Sister, Brother, Son, Daughter. Hear us now. Alone we stood, divided we fell. No longer. Now we choose to make the connection. Our new mission lies within. Visit maketheconnection.net to learn more.
16 is such a significant age. I promise to help protect my eldest daughter during this exciting time in her life. Teens are at an increased risk for meningococcal disease, a rare, potentially deadly bacterial infection. But half haven't received the CDC-recommended second dose of the MenACWY vaccine at 16. I want to help change that. Take your shot against meningitis. Talk to your teen's doctor about the MenACWY vaccine and ask about MenB. Visit the16vaccine.org.
Happy to have Sarah on to talk some AFC Week 6 content. I honestly think Week 6 is always a crazy one because you have a lot of NFC versus AFC games.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of put this together as best as we could. So, don't mind if we threw some NFC teams in here because we didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
I think we need to start off with the 425 CBS game that took place in Arrowhead Stadium, home of the Kansas City Chiefs, where the Bills took the win in Kansas City by a score of 24-20. And, I mean, Tony Romo, I need to talk about him first of all.
Please.
In the second quarter when he said, this is going to be one of those 24-20 games, Jim. I'm like, what?
What?
How did you come up with that? I think Tony Romo has the script of the NFL.
Tony
I can't
Romo-
tell if it's scripted at all anymore.
Yeah, no, Tony Romo also loves broadcasting, announcing for the Bills.
Loves drawing
He
circles
loves
on the
it.
screen.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
That too. But no, every time I like listening to him and I'm blanking on his
Jim
name.
Nantz.
Jim Nantz, yeah. I love listening to them broadcast the Bills game because they just have so much fun with it and they love the Bills team and it's just so cool. But yeah, this was such a great. So I was actually at musical rehearsal when I watched this game, so I
You
couldn't.
didn't even watch the whole thing.
I did. I watched as much as I could. I literally did my thing and then I walked back to my computer screen. I watched it. I think I saw most of the good plays, but it was just
back and forth.
back and forth. Like I couldn't. I feel like since I had my attention divided, I couldn't feel the stress. But if I had sat down and watched this game, the stress levels. My dad told me afterwards. He's like, "Yeah, this is like blood pressure rising to the top. It was crazy."
I don't even have a dog in this fight, and my heart was pumping during this game just because it was that good. It started off with turnover city in the first quarter. I mean,
turnover
Isaiah
central.
McKenzie fumbling in the red zone, and then right after that, Patrick Mahomes throwing an end zone interception in double coverage. And then we started to score a little bit of points. It was 7-3 at one point in favor of the Chiefs, and the Bills made it 10-7. And then Harrison Butker kicking a 62-yard field goal right before halftime, ironically with 12 seconds to go on that drive, to go up to tie the game at 10. And then Kansas City gets the ball after halftime. You can make a 62-yarder, but you can't make a 48-yarder.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
Nothing ever makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
It's NFL. It
No,
never makes
kickers,
sense.
they're paid money to kick it through the uprights, and they're the most inconsistent players on the team. It's probably the most stressful job.
It is, yeah.
Knowing that millions of people are watching you and that your
Right.
job is to kick it through the uprights. But
Yeah, because it's one of those like jobs that doesn't get enough credit, but also it's like I don't know like,
you
what
can
the
mess
word
up
is.
once in a crucial
Right.
time, then you're fired.
Right, exactly. Like you think about like wide right for the Bills.
Yep.
Like that just lives
Scott
in
no
infamy.
good.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So we feel bad for kickers, but
And then you obviously got to talk about when it was 20-17 Chiefs. Bills are driving in their zone. And in case you didn't see this on 20,000 different Instagram stories, Josh Allen leaps
Once again.
over the defensive back to pick up
Hurdles.
the first down. Absolutely. Hurdle Avenue.
At Hurdle Avenue. Have you seen that picture?
I have. That was why I brought up Hurdle Avenue.
Yeah.
But everyone,
Just
you
incredible.
have differing opinions on this. I thought
Yeah.
it was absolutely sweet to see that.
Mhm.
But at the same time,
It's
you
nerve-wracking.
have the old school Bills fans that say, "You land on your neck once, Josh, the season's over."
Yeah.
Or some guy hits you in your knee and you hyperextend it, you're done for the season or something like that.
It's hard. You
I
can't
can see it both ways. though.
Exactly. That's it. The one thing I love watching Josh do that because he can do that. He's done this
And he
multiple
knows
times now.
It's gonna
He
be
knows
number
his
2 on SportsCenter top 10, by the way.
True, absolutely. But it is also scary when he does it. You're like, oh my gosh, that's our quarterback. Oh, please be careful. But he did it this time, so we don't have to be worried about this time now. But yeah, that was crazy. And then of course to end the game, so then we get a touchdown.
Dawson Knox.
Dawson Knox,
touchdown.
that was awesome, dedicated to his brother. But
Yep.
of course, so and then of course the Chiefs ended the game where they had possession, but
Just when you thought there was too
Just-
much time on the clock, including
Right.
me too. I
Right.
thought, you gave up a lead with 13 seconds
Mhm.
in the playoffs. You gave Patrick Mahomes and company 64 seconds to work with on offense and 2 timeouts.
yeah.
Second play of the
plenty
drive,
of
Patty Mahomes throws a horrible interception. I don't remember who it was to, but he was on the run. The Bills were getting solid pressure. He tried to find Edwards-Helaire in the flat, and he got intercepted.
Yep.
And then
Taron Johnson.
they ran the
Or-
clock down. It was Taron Johnson.
Yep, Taron Johnson.
Big play. The
Huge
Bills got the win.
interception.
I think they won in Arrowhead last year in the regular season.
They did, because
smoked
that
them
was
Sunday
on my
night.
birthday.
Yep.
So that was
They destroyed them on
they
Sunday
destroyed
night.
them.
And then I think it's all about the Bills now. They have to get over that hump once they get over
Yeah.
the
Now we
postseason.
just gotta beat them in the playoffs.
It's
and then
like
we're
we
good.
can see you can beat Arrowhead in the regular season.
Yeah.
The true challenge is when it's the AFC divisional round or the AFC championship game, God
Yep.
forbid, where you show that you can beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
And I believe we can do it. And also, now that we beat them in this game, if we have a good enough record, we could have home field advantage. So that would be huge for the Bills.
And not only did the Bills and Chiefs had to face against each other, they had to face against the awful officiating.
That's so true.
The pass interferences, I don't know what a catch is anymore. I don't know what pass interference is anymore. I don't know what tripping is anymore. When Josh Allen got swept by Chris Jones's leg right in the shin guards, and he goes down.
Mm-hmm.
And he's screaming at the ref like, dude, he just tripped me. And then the replay shows from all different angles.
Every angle.
They used to have a rule where you can challenge pass interference. There should be a rule, I don't care if it delays the game an hour. Or if you miss your 60 minutes on CBS. Sorry, 90-year-olds out there that miss 60 minutes. But we need to review penalties like that. Because the referees, the no calls, and the bad calls are ruining the game.
I agree.
But
And-
obviously it wasn't that bad because the game was a close finish and it was a great game all the way around.
It
but
was.
The referees need to be held accountable.
They definitely do, and it's something that we hope never comes into play during the playoffs because that's unacceptable, especially then. It's not acceptable in any time, but definitely something we don't want to see there. And before we move on, I gotta show off one of my other birthday. I like having a birthday in the fall because it becomes a Bills birthday. So
The shoes are on!
the shoes are on.
The
So-
Buffalo Bills sneakers.
So thank you, Mom, Dad, Jenna, for my. I literally have Bills head to toe
They got
now.
some sparkle on it, too.
They do have some sparkle on them. They're sweet, and I'm very thankful. So
Yep.
anyway, thank you, Bills, for another great win, and keep it going.
You can
Beat them
get
in the
those
playoffs.
from FOCO, I believe, or you
FOCO?
can go on Fanatics and spend $175 plus $25 shipping to get those same exact ones.
Yeah.
That's how
but
they get your money, too.
go for the cheap ones if you can.
Yeah, go for the cheap ones.
It's all gear.
Yeah. And then we have this game, a very entertaining one for me.
Yes.
My Colts beat the Jags 34-27. For the first time all season, they scored over 20 points. So congratulations to the Colts. It only took you 6 weeks to get there. But
only 6.
We need to talk about the come from behind victories that this team does. It seems like they play better with their backs against the wall.
Yeah.
Obviously, as a fan, I want them to play 60 minutes. That'd be very, very good.
Mhm.
But they were down 14-3 in the first quarter. They let the third-string running back from Jacksonville break a 63-yard touchdown. And I'm like, yeah, we're gonna go 0-3-1 in the division or against division opponents, and our season's pretty much done from here. And then they scored another touchdown to go up 14 or to be down 14-10. They kicked a field goal. They were down 14-3 at halftime. I'm like, okay, it's really anybody's game here. Trevor Lawrence only had 2 incomplete passes on the day, which was insane to think about.
That is a crazy stat.
But you got to think the players that are stepping up for Indy, the secondary receivers that we really aren't used to seeing. Harris Campbell scoring a touchdown. Michael Pittman, 13 catches, a career high for him in the game.
134 yards.
134 yards,
Crazy.
13 catches. If you started him in fantasy, you got some good numbers.
Yeah.
Alec Pierce, the rookie, balling out. 17 seconds to go. And Matt Ryan, one of my friends in my class today was telling me, he got lucky that the DB fell over. He floated right into his hands. It couldn't have been more perfect. He's a salty Patriots fan, by the way, if he's watching. I don't listen to Patriot fans. I never have.
No,
so,
you shouldn't.
Salt,
Sorry.
What is it? Have a little cheese with that wine?
Yeah.
You want a little cheese with that wine? Seriously, I wouldn't expect less from a Pats fan. But also, Jelani Woods, the rookie tight end, 4th-round pick, catching his 3rd touchdown pass of the season. He only threw 1 touchdown to Kyle Pitts in his career in Atlanta. But Jelani Woods has 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And I've been told that Kyle Pitts is better than Jelani Woods. Funny how things turned out. But the Colts, big win. They're 3-2-1 on the year, tied for the top of the AFC South.
Yeah.
They're facing against the leader of the AFC South next week against the Titans in enemy territory. So that is a must-win game for the Colts.
Are you feeling like I don't know the Colts' schedule for the rest of the year off the top of my head, but does this win make you feel a little bit better at all?
A little bit better because Matt Ryan didn't get sacked. So you see his production when he has time to throw.
Yeah.
389 yards, no interceptions, no fumbles, no sacks.
Yes.
Perfect. And 3 touchdown passes. And when you have a team like Tennessee coming up, you have to win that game. Because after that, you have Washington, who, by the way, we're going to get into this when we have our next guest on, but I wanted to see Wentz play the Colts so bad. And on that awful Thursday night football game, he just had to break his finger. And now he's out 4 to 6 weeks, so we're going to see the rookie Sam Howell from North Carolina start against the Colts. We all know what rookie quarterbacks do in Lucas Oil Stadium, too, so it's going to be closer than I thought it's going to be. But then we have the Steelers coming up. We have the Cowboys coming up. We have the Patriots coming up. The Raiders coming up. Winnable games.
Yeah,
definitely
I would
winnable
say,
games.
Definitely.
So I think
Let's see what happens.
I think the road ahead is looking okay as of right now. A collapse can happen at any point.
Yeah.
Fun fact: the Colts are 2-0 this year without Taylor in the lineup.
Oh, that's
ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
How about the Pats blowing out the Browns? So Jacoby Brissett faces against his former team.
Yep.
This one's not even close. The legend of Bailey Zappi continues.
It really does. It's a short legend, but it's an interesting one. That's for sure.
Yeah, 3rd-string quarterback. I think he's better than Mac Jones because he doesn't just throw the check down pass. He stretches the field.
Yeah.
And he throws like the 30-yard passes. So you know what? Good for him. Tom Brady, what happened, buddy? What happened to your team? You lost to a team that doesn't even have their starting quarterback, or they had to put Mitchell Trubisky back in.
Yeah.
Because their backup or their rookie quarterback got a concussion, and you still lost. 20-18. I think the ultimate.
Dude, Brady, if this isn't a sign for him to retire, he's crazy.
Or to get back together with Giselle, one of the two.
I mean, yeah, but he kind of messed that up. So.
Oh, he did big time.
Yeah.
But thank you, Sarah, for coming on. We've covered some great games, even though we got like 4 in there.
Yeah, but good games.
So don't go away because we're going to have a new guest on. We got Justin Chatham, great Grand Island guys. We got
Grand Island crew.
We got back-to-back GI
Island.
guys
Woo.
here talking NFL football. So stay tuned for our final segment.
We've been down there. You gotta do the same. All you do is sign. So don't get nervous. Sign your name. For selective service. It takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. For selective service.
Hey guys, if you're about to turn 18, you've got to register with Selective Service. It's simple. Just go down to the post office, fill out a card, and turn it in. That's all there is to it. There's no draft now. You're just adding your name to Selective Service's list in case there's a national emergency.
So if you're 18 now, Selective Service, you gotta get down to the post office.
Register with Selective Service. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the law.
Takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. Selective Service. We've been down there. You gotta do the same. Post office. All you do is sign. So don't get post office for selective service.
Hey guys, if you're about to turn 18, you got to register with Selective Service. It's simple. Just go down to the post office, fill out a card, and turn it in. That's all there is to it. There's no draft now. You're just adding your name to Selective Service's list in case there's a national emergency.
So if you're 18 now, selective service, you gotta get down to the post office.
Register with Selective Service. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the law.
Takes no time, just sign on the line at the post office for selective service.
Happy to have good old Grand Island fella right here.
That's me. Hello.
Justin Chatema. We got the goat head swag on because we witnessed the big Sabres dub.
Yep.
Over the Sens on last Thursday night. But
4-2.
we're here to cover some of the NFC segments here. We're going to start off with this first one. Ease right into Thursday night football. Commanders 12, Bears 7.
Clearly, they didn't listen to O-Town.
Not one team listened to O-Town before the game or at halftime. You want to know why? Because they would have scored a lot more points.
Exactly. O-Town is the fuel that drives all football. Everyone knows this.
Everyone knows that O-Town is the driving force. I mean, why do you think the Bills overcame the tie at halftime? Because they definitely turned on O-Town. They probably turned on O2 as well, one of their other great albums. And, you know, they won the game. The Commanders and the Bears, I don't have nothing to say about these guys except that Amazon needs to get a refund from the NFL for all that money that they paid to get great primetime games. We haven't seen a single good one so far through 6 weeks.
That was a bad game. There wasn't any points on the field until end of the second quarter.
3-0.
What's going on there?
At the end of 2.
Yeah.
Horrible start, and also a very weird finish too, because the Bears were up 7-3 in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Commanders scored a touchdown with 2 minutes to go, and they missed the 2-point conversion.
Yes.
First play of the next drive, the Bears throw an interception. Horrible game, but at least the Bears were wearing some cool helmets, though. They rocked the orange helmets.
That is one of the good things about this game. They
that
had
was
some
cool.
Pretty clean outfits. Orange helmet, orange jersey.
Definitely.
Can't go wrong with that.
But losing in the Windy City in front of your home fans is never a fun thing to do, especially if you're Justin Fields, a quarterback that's trying to, make his way in the league as a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Or as I think he's a second-year guy actually.
Yeah.
But
he had a lot of sneaks in that game.
He did.
Yeah.
And his guys just can't get open. They don't have an offensive line to protect him. Amazon, you want a good game? How about Bills Chiefs Thursday night? How about Bills Patriots Thursday night?
Come on, Jeff. Come on, Mr. Bezos.
Jeff.
Come on,
and
feed
Roger
the Bills
Goodell.
some money.
Like, what are we doing?
Let's get the dough rolling. Come on.
Please. And then this next one, though. If you want to talk about like former Bills success, we got the Giants and the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Dable and the G-Men are 5-1 on the season, led by Danny Dimes himself. The Ravens blow another lead. They were up 20-10. They lose this game 24-20. Do you think the Giants are legit?
I don't know. This was a pretty close game. I mean, Lamar had a really good game, like 210 passing yards, but then, he had just one slip up in the end that really cost him the game. He had a turnover, and then the Giants scored on the next drive, and then they ended up winning.
Couldn't get the running game going in that second half
not at
either.
all.
They were trying to run the ball up 20-10, and which is good. You're supposed to run the clock out as much as you can.
Yeah.
They were just getting held 3 and out. Giants were getting chances to go down and score. They obviously took the lead. They won this one 24-20. The Bengals and the Saints really blew this lead too. The Bengals won 30-26 over the Saints. And Andy Dalton, who was filling in for the injured Jameis Winston still, I believe, lost against his former team and choked away a big lead. So Joey Burrow, welcome to the jungle.
Great game.
They're 3-3.
Burrow had a great game.
Great game.
300 yards. Looked it up. Averaged 8.1 yards per attempt.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
His number one guy, Jamar Chase, I mean, it's really hard to stop that guy. He's got quick feet. And obviously, as much of a slow start as the Bengals have started off with this year, Joe Burrow's slowly starting to find his way again.
Yeah, no, they definitely they found the switch in the dark, and they turned the lights on in the end.
They turned them on.
They turned them right on, and they were bright as the sun.
They were bright as the sun, and it's like almost as if the Saints were playing in Vancouver. Like, if you really think about it.
It's almost as if the Ukraine had a football team, and then they played them in Vancouver against the Buffalo Bills.
And they blew a major lead, and the horn just kept going off.
And
And it was just a problem.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if the announcer knew how to announce any of their names.
First down,
and 2, and
scored
number
by.
25.
All right, the next game we got here.
Next game, guys. Falcons 28, Niners 14.
Yes.
What is going on with the 49ers?
I
They have a great week last week, a horrible week the week before,
yeah.
and then a good week 1.
Yeah.
Great. What is it like? Usually
They
great
started
game, bad game, great game, bad game.
They started off this game pretty well because the Falcons scored 2 touchdowns, and then the 49ers answered back 2 touchdowns unanswered. And then the Falcons,
Turned it back the other way.
Unfortunately, they're like, well, enough with this back and forth bogus. Let's score another 2 unanswered touchdowns.
Two wins in a row for Hotlanta, as we call them right now.
Hotlanta.
When they win 2 in a row without Matt Ryan, without guys like Julio Jones, they should be called Hotlanta.
ATL.
ATL.
They are not having an all-time low.
No, they're not having an
Nope,
all-time
they
low
are.
because they're only going up from here with Marcus Mariota.
Yep.
I'm telling you that right now. This next one just blew my mind. I thought the Packers were slowly declining against the Giants in that game across the pond in London. Or maybe they were just jet lagged. I didn't know. But the
They must have
Jets
been.
came
No, they
into
must have
Lambeau Field, a very hard place to win a football game. And they didn't just, kind of just beat them on a game-winning field goal, fluky kind of game.
No.
They blew them out.
Yeah.
27-10 at Lambeau Field.
Yep.
Are the Jets back, or are the Packers just declining, or is it just a little bit of both?
I think the Packers were just declining. I am in denial that the Jets can ever be back. Watching the Jets these past 2 seasons, it was nice to see the Packers in those clean uniforms, though.
Oh, yeah.
The green and the yellow, oof.
The throwback unis.
Love those uniforms. And then the Jets blocked a field goal attempt. Green Bay answered, you know what? I'm going to block your punt return. I'm not having this block field attempt stuff. And then, and then the Packers just, they couldn't bring it back. They couldn't bring it back.
For them. And then you saw some Jet wide receivers doing the Lambeau leap, jumping into the crowd. It was just a bad scene.
Yes.
But the chant, Jets, Jets, makes sense because they won 3 times in a row. Jets. It only makes sense. And the Packers fans, I don't know what to say about your team. I honestly think the Jets are a little bit better because Zach Wilson's back in the lineup, and obviously first-round quarterback, probably the best quarterback that they've had in quite a long time. And that goes without saying. And I think he is going to be the franchise guy, but I'm not sure if the Jets are really over that hump just yet.
Maybe spend a little less time in the uniform room and the graphic
Exactly.
design room. Maybe more time with some offensive coordination, and maybe you'll have a team going for you.
And I think,
maybe.
honestly, Aaron Rodgers just took the money and ran. 4 years, $200 million, and $120 million of that was guaranteed. I think he just took the money and ran and said, you know what, you're going to be paying me till I'm 40. I can play and go 10-7 every single year, and you guys are still going to owe me money.
Easy job.
There's something going on with that guy, man.
Has to be.
But the Panthers are rebuilding so much right now.
Yeah, no, it's a tough time to be a Panthers fan.
Robbie Anderson recently just got traded to the Arizona Cardinals for a 6th round and a 7th round pick. Christian McCaffrey's on the trade block. Obviously, they lost to the Rams 24-10. The Panthers had the lead on a pick 6.
Yeah.
But that was the only offensive production they got was from their defense.
It was seeing the numbers. PJ Walker, their QB, 60 yards, 60 passing yards.
60
How is that
passing yards.
possible? How is that possible? I mean, given he is isn't he like the third
string quarterback?
Yeah, third string, but still, it can't even make it one field length.
No.
That's kind of not looking too good.
They don't have a lot of weapons, but you're an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, come on. I mean, it's easy for us to be like, hey, this guy sucks. Oh, my God, look at him go. He can't even make it down one field length. But, it's hard to not put their job in perspective.
And the Eagles, though, we can't say enough good things about them right before we wrap up here. The Eagles are the only undefeated team in the league right now. 6-0. They defeated the legend that was Cooper Rush, I think. I think Dak Prescott was cleared to play Week 7. And Cooper Rush got his first loss as a starter on the season, putting the Cowboys at 4-2. And the Eagles are 6-0. They are really streaking right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're obviously the NFC favorites for sure. Only undefeated team in the league. I think they're the Super Bowl favorites right now.
Their
on most
electric
betting
bill
odds.
must be through the roof because their lights are always on.
They're always
They're
on.
always on. Never off. It's bright as the sun over there.
Oh, bright
Never
as the
off.
sun. bright as the on.
They must have the announcer. Oh, you know what? They listen to O-Town 24/7. That's
Philly,
what it is.
Lincoln Financial Field, the link itself, they pump O-Town through those speakers.
Pump O-Town.
All you hear is all or nothing.
The horn, there isn't even a go horn. It's just O-Town.
It's just O-Town.
Track after track.
They have the live
track
performances
after track.
probably at halftime.
Yes.
I need to look into this, man.
You know what? Come on, NFL. Get O-Town in
Get
the
O-Town
Super
on
Bowl.
Sports Hour.
The Super Bowl halftime show, O-Town. That's what we need.
Let's go.
That's
Run
what
it
we
up
need.
right now. Who's doing it right now? Rihanna?
Whatever. It's not O-Town. That's all I know. That's all I care
O-Town's
about.
here, Rihanna's like here.
Yeah, come on. Let's
Come
go,
on.
NFL. Turn the
Seriously.
lights up.
Turn the lights on. And when O-Town plays at halftime
Against Ukraine and Vancouver.
against Ukraine and Vancouver in the Super Bowl, you'll have like the game will end like what 52-48 because both teams are motivated to score all these points. It'll be the highest.
The
Super
commercials
Bowl,
will be insane.
the
Ukraine,
highest scored Super Bowl of all time.
Ukraine versus O-Town. O-Town needs to make a football team. It'll be
O-Town,
great. They'll be
please,
unstoppable.
they'd be unstoppable. I'm pretty sure Dan would be quarterback.
Of course.
They just-
we're done. Oh, we got cut off.
This is not. I'm supposed to do the outro. Where's the
What-
outro?
what
Okay,
happened?
Fine. Was that like our warning to wrap up or something?
Jeez.
It's called
tough
Sports
crowd.
Hour. We're only going like at 2
Tough
minutes
crowd.
over. I don't really care.
We're talking about the greatest band in our century.
and we're talking about one of the greatest teams in football right now.
Like
and
what's
the fact
going
that
on?
they do
6
play
and
the
0.
greatest
They
band,
listen to O-Town every single game.
every night they listen to O-Town.
And then-
Oh.
Do you know what their favorite country is? I think.
What do you? I want to say either Ukraine, Austria.
I think it's Ukraine.
Okay, yeah, I'll probably go with
Yeah,
Ukraine.
okay,
and
yeah.
their favorite city is located
I
somewhere
think
in Western
it's in like
Canada.
Canada. Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver. That's right. Home of
Let's get the
Canucks.
goat heads at Vancouver.
Let's get them up in Vancouver.
And
And I think we're finally going to sign off because they're probably freaking out right now in the control room. They're probably getting so mad. And I don't really care.
you know what?
Honestly.
Bite me.
Do we get paid? Do we get paid to do this? Do we get paid to do No.
We should. This is
I
entertaining.
think we should. And like Brent said one of those other weeks, like maybe 2 weeks ago, you guys should be paying a subscription to us because we're giving you a service.
Join our Patreon.
Join our Patreon.
And then you'll see the lights on forever.
You'll see on forever.
Let's go, TP Toe.
Let's go, DP Doe. Let's go, DP Doe. All right, let's go. Join us next week for another episode of Sports Hour. You can't even see us anymore. Our mics are probably turned off.
Nice talking to you guys.
It was nice talking to you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Yes.
And so I was like, please tell them to wrap
The
up. I
lights
was like,
are
oh,
up.
yeah.